All right, Shira. So I'm going to give you a quick introduction then, and let's go ahead and get started. Yeah.
Go for it. Yes, thank
Cool.
you.
All right, awesome. So hey guys, my name is Yoel. You may have seen some of my posts on the Facebook career page. I'm one of the few people that help run that Facebook career page, the Masa Facebook career page. And Shira and I actually met a while back because I was doing some career networking and I got in touch with Shira, and she was super helpful in giving me some career development tips and kind of giving me some direction on where I wanted to go. And one of the great things about Shira is that she has pretty expansive amount of career knowledge when it comes to career development. And one of those things, of course, is about LinkedIn, which is what we're going to be focusing on today with improving your LinkedIn profile. And of course, as you know, since she was on the invite, Shira works at Tel Aviv University as a student recruiter. And Shira, I'm going to pass the mic over to you to let you finish off the introduction.
Okay, thank you so much, Joel. Yeah, it was really awesome when you reached out. You did it beautifully, just like you teach everybody in your presentations. So it's good advice. It's concrete advice. Go for it. Okay, so without further ado, let's begin. I'll tell a little bit about myself and we'll keep going. By the way, participation isn't just really good because it helps us be interactive, and I work to make my my workshops interactive. There's also going to be gifts at the end, so please participate. You can also put in questions in the chat, and I will address them. We'll have some time to work on our statements at the end, so I'll be cognizant of time. It's not just me talking. Yeah, so please do participate. I like to share gifts. So as y'all said, I work at Tel Aviv University International, where we have over 60 programs entirely in English. So I always say this because some people always come back to me asking about what might be a good program for them. So feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help. Since 2013, 2013 was an interesting year for me. I decided to stay where I studied. I studied away from home. It was 5 hours away, and I decided to just stay there. And in order to stay in that city, I had to work because rent and food and so on. And that's when I started really going into career development stuff. I just started searching and researching, and I've had the pleasure to really help a lot of people in their own personal branding and CV upgrading stuff. So it's always really cool to see wins, and I hope that we'll make some kind of like eureka moments happen today. And one of the really cool things that I've done was to give a TEDx talk. And this one is actually really relevant to the LinkedIn headline because I write that I did a TEDx talk, and that little bit was what led me to have a meaningful conversation with someone that I actually work with on the side. So I reached out to someone on LinkedIn. It was a pretty cold reach out. And I told them that I've seen some stuff of theirs. It was really cool. And they looked at my profile really quickly and said, "Oh, cool, you did a TEDx talk. I've always wanted to do one." And I said, "Okay, then let's maybe hop on a Zoom call and we'll swap some tips from your industry, and I'll provide some stuff about TED." And because they were able to see the TEDx bit on my headline super quickly, it actually led to more meaningful conversations. And now I've been working with that person. So that actually led to a paid gig. So there is so much power in these headlines. Let's keep going. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. So I'll be bringing some stats, and I would love for you to guess if you know. Let me know what these relate to. So you can do it again in the chat, or you can just hop on the microphone. Happy to hear your voice. Are we ready? Cool. Does anyone know? Make sure that you're not on mute if you're trying to speak. So I'll go quickly. 120 is the character count for your headline. That's not a lot of space in order to create an impression. 95%. Does anyone know this? 95% of, and maybe I'm not seeing the chat, so I'll just make sure that I am.
Don't worry, Shira. I'm looking at the chat too. So
You're looking at the chat? Thank you. That's a plus. Okay. 95% of recruiters are on LinkedIn, actively looking for you. 57%. As per Hootsuite, 57% of users go mobile first on LinkedIn, which again means limited interaction in the space. 50%. This one is a little bit more of a marketing angle. When working on an article, marketers are typically working 50% of the time just on the headline and specialize. This is the most overused word on LinkedIn. We are all special. Our parents have told us, but we have other ways to communicate that, and we'll talk about that today. Okay, moving on to mistakes and best practices. So mistakes. The first one is writing something like seeking, searching, aspiring. A lot of people say seeking, let's say, what kind of role? Opportunities. So seeking SDR opportunities. Looking for my next challenge. An aspiring graphic designer. It is important to communicate that you are a professional currently living in the space of being that professional. Even if you recently graduated, even if you recently made a career shift, it's important to not show that you are just kind of like in the searching zone. Everybody, even people who are employed, are typically open for opportunity. And it's important to not put so much emphasis on your job search as much as the kind of, I'm giving a spoiler, but the kind of value that you bring to a potential company. Okay. Current role, current company. So for me, it would be student recruiter at Tel Aviv University International. I don't actually say that. I say in my headline, I do say that I am a recruiter. If people look pretty quickly at a glance, they can also see that I work at Tel Aviv University because it is my place of employment. But I don't waste so much character space just on that. Same as recent grad. While it's good to maybe show that you have recently graduated from something, and showing how fresh you are sometimes can induce bias, and show that you are maybe less skilled or anything like that. So I'm trying to reduce any kind of biases through that. Same as sometimes intern. It really depends though. But that's one other mistake. Typical kind of non-buzz buzzwords like hardworking and proactive. again, we all are or believe that we are or like to believe that we are. Using intentional, and again, I'm giving some spoilers, intentional keywords is better. And on the other side, there's people who proclaim themselves as the guru or the fairy, unless it really adds something, or that is what you title yourself as on your website or something like that. It's important to stay away from showing off too much in a way that doesn't drive home your unique value. Again, most people can call themselves fairies and gurus. So moving on to best practices. Any questions so far? Okay, cool.
So it's not good like to use words such as hardworking or proactive, you're saying? Like it's not good to show off, like, if I understood.
So it's the way that we're showing our value that's important. Saying that you're hardworking, I think that we can probably just walk outside to the street and most people will tell us that they are hardworking and someone can vouch for them that they are hardworking. It's showing your value in a very specific way, and we'll go into that because hardworking is too general. It doesn't actually give value, a sense of value of what you can deliver to someone who is looking for a skill set. So yes, we'll jump on how to show and indicate your value and the fact that you are hardworking, but in a different way. So showing value. So showing value comes now from thinking about what's the pain of my ideal employer. What are they looking for, and what kind of problem can I solve for them? Or what is something that people always tell me that I am? Today I was told that I was organized so many times. So I want to say that I'm organized in my headline, but I'll think about that now more and see if I can include that either. Sometimes it will be in my headline, sometimes it will be somewhere else in my summary, but wherever it fits, and to show what organized means in a very particular sense. And one of the things that I would say is, you know what, I'll carry us through that example in a second. So using keywords. Using keywords is really important, and that's because LinkedIn, when recruiters use it, operates like Google, with the search bar, and in their recruitment tools at the back end, they can look up different types of keywords. So it's important to understand what kind of keywords are relevant to your desired field, to your desired companies, and so forth. And the way to do that is essentially looking at the kind of job postings that you are attracted to and that you're looking for. I typically take 3 to 5, and I see what kind of keywords repeat themselves. A really good way to do it is to copy and paste the job posting, throw it on a word cloud generator. It's free, you just Google word cloud, and do that for several of them, either all at once or job posting by job posting. And when you see, let's say, let's say for recruitment, it would be converting. So converting leads to potential students or to students. So if I see conversion as a main keyword, then that's something that I should probably want either in my headline again or the summary. Today we're only talking about the headline, so we'll say the headline. Okay. Any questions?
Yes. When you said using keywords, we're talking only all this on the 120 characters for the headline, correct? Okay.
Yes. Yes, and you want to do about 3 to 5 different keywords, which is a lot for 120 characters. So if one of the keywords is processes, for instance, then you want it in there. So I would say use both nouns and skills, so verbs, as your keywords.
Okay, got it.
Okay, awesome. Any other questions? Awesome. Providing stats, numbers are huge. So over here, if again, let's work with the example of recruitment. If I say like boosted Israeli students enrollment by 20% in 2020, that's an awesome number to share. So I want to show that if that's something that I want to be recruited for, of course. If it's not something that I want to be recruited for, that's a great stat. Put it in like one of your bullets in your job description or anything like that. But if you have a stat that also nails your expertise, use that. Any questions here?
I have questions. Like,
Yeah.
what exactly kind of sets for us as a fresh graduated student to provide?
Right. So this is only if it's relevant. If you don't have the statistic, then you can definitely show value and you can definitely show a winning skill set in other ways. If you have, and once you have a stat to share, use it to your advantage. So one of the smartest things that I've done was that I understood that numbers were a major part of my resume, of my LinkedIn and everything. So I really try in my work to make everything very data-driven, very measurable. So I survey people before and after I give trainings to them. And see the effects of the training so that they can speak to that. I ask for feedback so that I have something qualitative. If people continuously give me the same kind of feedback, I can use it as a keyword, which isn't a stat, but it is a keyword, as we said. So gathering that kind of insight once you are in your role is really important. If you don't have that, we will go into that, but it's simply kind of like, it's a lot of what I call internal research, and we'll get into that. Any other questions about stats? Okay. So being creative and memorable, and that's where the TEDx thing comes in. So essentially, my headline at this moment has 3 elements, okay? The first one is my current role, as in what I do, which is a recruiter. I don't mention where I am because I am my own personal brand. While I am very much affiliated with Tel Aviv University and I love it, first I stand for myself as my personal brand. So that's the recruiter. Then I say what I call is my superpower. So I wrote a little statement about being able to optimize processes and systems. And then I wrote something fun and creative. And that's been a really big recommendation that I've seen across different people who are known to be LinkedIn branding gurus, as well as different articles, is something that is like the TEDx thing. So if you are participating in any kind of competitions, if you have won any awards and sometimes they don't have to be super relevant exactly to your skill set and to your work, but showing that other bit of your personality is really important, because in the end, we want to work with humans that we like and that we can relate to. So putting that is really important. And if you want, you can also make it fun. So you can write something that is more like a hobby, or something that is even funny, especially if I think if you go into the more creative field, but sometimes also if you're breaking away from the stereotype of a more hard science, let's say, field, breaking out and like being out of the box, then you're creative and memorable. So you can say something like functions on X number of coffees per day, or something fun. Okay. Any questions about being creative and memorable? And remember, those are really typically the icebreaker types of stuff. Is actually that bit, because the first bit is telling me who you are as a professional, and the other bit is like, oh, you read one book per week or something like that. That's awesome. What was the last book that you have read? So the makeup of a winning statement. Let's break it down. The first part is intention. The second bit is showing unique value. And the last bit is being authentic. And we'll go into each one of them now. Intention. So I broke it down into external and internal research. External, we spoke about, it's the keywords. And you derive them by going to job descriptions, to companies that you're really interested in. Typically, they probably have some kind of, the companies even, but probably are calling you because of similar values and similar traits that you're probably looking to be immersed in, or that you hold, and that will give you some hints about who you are and where you want to be. So look and do that kind of like external research. The other brilliant thing is especially is to look into, again, use the LinkedIn tool, search toolbar to your advantage. Look up people who are in your desired field and in your desired roles. And that's from junior to senior level, so that you have the ability to look at what their headlines are like and pull some ideas from them. So that's external research. You're going out into the world and understanding that. Remember the word cloud thing? It's genius. It really allows you to understand what people want to hear. Okay? Moving on to internal research. Internal research is ongoing because it's essentially looking within ourselves. And sometimes that's tough because it is asking a lot of big questions. What I like to do is to use my friends, and thank God they're such beautiful people because I ask them all the time, like, essentially, what are the things that stand out when they work with me? I seek that in my feedback, but I also remember to note that, like, just like today, people kept being like, oh, wow, you're so organized, you're so organized. So I was, okay. So looking into that will also allow you to understand more about your own personal branding. If you have a really good sense of your values and your strengths, that's really key. Yes, so if you have that understanding, and then that's really, really valuable. I, for one of the big game changers for me was when I took a Gallup Strengths Finder assessment. It is paid, but it is, honestly, it really changed my job searching, because it really allowed me to understand where my core strengths are. And I highly recommend it. If not, I have a freebie recommendation. But either way, I recommend that you look into the Gallup, just for the research that they provide. Any questions about intention, external research, internal research? Cool. So remember about 3 to 5 keywords that show very clearly the value that you provide. Unique value. So this is, again, more internal research. And again, look into feedback that you might have received from past colleagues. If you're a recent grad, look into feedback about your work that you had submitted. Look into the trends of what kind of projects you're leaning towards. Even when you had to choose a paper, what was the paper about? Why did you do that? If you did some creative work as a graphic designer, is there something that keeps, where do you tend to go? Because it's really important to also, even in the current situation, and also in always a competitive marketplace, it's important for us to be true to ourselves, because that's where we'll stay, that's where we'll grow. So stay and lean towards the places that you naturally go towards, is my another big piece of advice. So and know know that it's even if other people are saying that they are awesome at something and you're also awesome at that, that's okay to also celebrate that. It's just how you word it that's going to be unique. Okay, it's because even if they are, like, millions of people have given this workshop, okay, but I have a unique way of showing that, just like they do. So all of us have that unique value, even if we can all say that we are a superstar at something, and we are all a superstar at that. Any question here? Yes.
Question. So the best place to find like live examples of what you're speaking of, so we should just go onto LinkedIn and then look up folks that like we admire, the positions that we want to be in, and see what kind of headlines they have, or maybe even check out your LinkedIn and see what your headline is like. Like, what would be the best place? I know you touched on it earlier, to just find like a real life example of like what all this looks like together.
Yes. So definitely feel free to create me, but yes, look at other people. You can use the very bare basics of the role that you're looking for. So it's like you are in business development, put a business developer manager, and maybe filter to people in your region to understand a little bit more of current trends there. Mm-hmm. Look into the companies that you are interested in more and see what they talk about. Look at all kinds of levels. I especially like to look at people who are kind of like colleagues, so my kind of level of seniority, as well as up, to understand if I want to go up in my career, or where can I aspire to. So it's important. So it's a really good way to understand the wording that people are using. Not everything is great. So especially if they're using hardworking, don't use it. But if they have something special that makes you a little bit more creative, then definitely grab all of that. We're not reinventing the wheel.
Great, thank you.
Awesome, no problem. Anyone else? Okay, I'll keep going to authenticity. So this is important, write in your voice. So, and then read it out loud. And the reason why is because if you read it out loud and it doesn't feel like you, then rearrange it to make it feel like you. And one of the best things that I do is I read out my stuff to friends. And until it feels like I am actually saying this to a friend, or that I would feel comfortable saying that statement in an interview, that's when I know that it clicks and it works. But the more that it is your voice, the more that I think it is unique and looks that way. It helps to stand out of the crowd of, so many people that are in our LinkedIn marketplace. Any questions here? Cool. So I did ask some people to submit their LinkedIn profiles. I'll be taking a look at them and I'll be reaching out to you personally. But here I thought what we can do is we can do an exercise together and help some friends. All right. So this is Shecha. They're a recent liberal arts grad. They worked at student customer service jobs here and there, summers and so forth. They always get good feedback on bringing returning customers. And, during COVID-19, they have been just like on the baking train. Can you maybe hop in and write like a LinkedIn statement in the chat for them? I'll give everybody a minute to do it. Awesome. Anyone who wants to hop on? Okay. So we have customer service. I really like the line artist. I use that line to separate between different segments of my statement, and I think many people do. It's very common. So we have that. Liberal art graduate experience working in customer service with high percentage of customer retention. So I really like both of those. They made the notion to customer service. They made a notion to something that's a little bit different. The artist here, I'm not sure if it was because of the liberal arts, but we can do something like actually like a COVID-19 baker can even be a funny twist at the last bit. And if that person had, if Shecha had actual stats about their customer retention, they would put that in a number. So that's a great notion there too, to do that. Any kind of questions about what I just said? Okay, cool. Let's help our other friend.
Well, actually,
yeah.
I have a question. What would be the right answer? What would be the way that you would word it?
So one way, there's no one right answer. Also, it's
a possible right answer.
Okay, so one would be you can do liberal art graduates. I would focus in actually more about where I wanted to be. So if it was customer service or customer success, let's say, I would write that. If I wanted to be in the liberal arts realm, I would focus on a specific major that I probably had done. So psychology related something. I studied psychology. And if, let's say, I had 3 years, yes, granted, there were some student jobs or they were part-time, but if I have 3 years experience, I'm just giving stats right now, 3 years experience, retaining customers, and if I had the stats, so 3 years experience, and then I can do even like one another line with a percentage towards that retention rate. So something like that. And then the something fun would be related to that other bit that we had, the skillful breaker. And you can definitely just try it the way that I wrote it here. It's just a lot of characters, so you can use it because the focus should be on, again, your professional aspect. Just make it a little bit of it fun.
Okay.
Awesome. So we have Ben. Ben is a salesperson. They're great at spotting opportunities. They volunteer with at-risk youth and they play piano. And you can also invent kind of like statistics here yourselves. So write your statement. I'm going to give us a minute now. And I remind you, participation equals gifts. 30 seconds. Five seconds. Awesome. I'll give it, people a second more. Okay. Your person is with very good close rates. So, so sales rep.
I think it's the best kind of close rates.
Yes, it's amazing. So we have sales rep with 100% close rate, excellent eye for opportunities, volunteer with at-risk youth, and play piano. We have pianist, volunteer business, salesperson, great with opportunities, volunteering, and plays piano. So yeah, so we're getting the hang of it. I'll give you a little bit of my feedback as well. So another thing is to remember, where do you want to be in the sales realm? Because sales is big. Are you B2B? Are you B2C? Do you like to sell SaaS products? Do you like to sell physical products? The more that you can also go to your desired space, the better. So to speak about that, if you're currently doing a switch, you can also always say that like you appreciate, appreciation for SaaS products. Yeah, so having a number there is great. Excellent eye for opportunities, great with opportunities, amazing. You can always also say a different way to say opportunities as well. I have to say that Thesaurus is my best friend in personal branding. Volunteer with at-risk youth, so volunteering, community person at heart. Even the risk youth is a great detail. Sometimes if it takes too much of your character count, you can put it already in your summary and just do something more concise. Play piano, amazing. We could have also done something like something about the piano that would have been unique too. So contemporary piano player or a classical piano, plays piano on Tuesdays. Sounds weird, but like it's a little bit fun. So stuff like that. Also, if you are that kind of person, feel free to use emojis. Don't overuse emojis, but feel free to use emojis. So if you want to do like the piano emoji, go for it. Any questions here before we go to our last person, our last friend? Okay, I'll keep going. So we have Camila, okay? Camila is a UX designer. Her team won a hackathon in 2018. She mentors women at Cheat Codes, go for her. And she loves running. All right, so I'll let you start the statements. And again, you can make up statistics or other traits for Camila. I'm only giving you a 5-second warning right now. So wrap it up. Beautiful. I'll let a couple more people to chime in. Amazing. Okay, so I'll read them out loud. So we have UX designer with 20 years experience, tech hackathon champion, mentor for women at Cheat Codes, runs 200 miles a week. Wow, that's Camila is amazing. UX designer, mentor, team worker, programmer, sporty, love it. UX designer, hackathon 2018 winner, great at tutoring, and we have the running emoji, which is a great touch. UX designer, coding professionalist, athlete. All of these, like, I think like you guys like really are like getting the hang of it so well. So I'm loving this. So we've got numbers, we have got action verbs here. We've got achievements, we've got that other twist, which is both community and the running. For the running emoji, make sure that you're also putting a keyword because otherwise it lacks context. But I do like the emoji. For the 2018, for the hackathon winner, then if you can say the name of the hackathon, if it gives an advantage, if it's a well-known one, write the hackathon name. For great at tutoring, because great is again like the same as kind of hardworking, use something that is more descriptive, or so, and that can be tutoring since 2018 again. I wouldn't do 20, yeah, or something else. So do that. And I particularly like athletic over sporty. And team worker again is a very general term, so I would use something else, and the hackathon is a great way to show teamwork. Anyhow, the other thing is that using actually mentor for women at Cheat Codes can be a type of keyword that people are looking for, or that catches an eye because it's a brand. So it's good to think about. Any questions here? Comments?
I have a question.
Yes.
As a personal question. So regarding to the person who's shifted career from business to something, for example, programming. So I don't want to show, even though the experience as a business is much higher than the programming, but I'm targeting the higher tech companies. How can I phrase that on my profile on LinkedIn?
Right. So you're your focus is your programming experience now,
Yes. Yes.
and you don't want to lose the business aspect.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can indicate with, you can say business first mindset, like coding professional, or programmer, like something programmer, if you want to be specific. And then business first mindset, or X years in, and then your type of business specialty. So you can do that, and that way you're doing both. Does that help?
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. So actually, you went right into this is now your turn. So if you want, you can put in your current headline, rework your headline right now. I'm happy to review it with you in the little bit of time that we have, and give some input. So feel free to put it in the chat. You can also do it privately.
Yeah, sure. Well, I can share it with you. I don't mind.
Oh, I mean for everybody. So everybody can now hop in. You can do it with everybody. And feel free to also help others, because we all just learned something right now, and we can provide our insights. But if you're wanting to just chat with me, you can also select that.
I just had a question at the beginning when you mentioned not using the word seeking, and what kind of words should we try to use instead? Should we just try and use keywords instead of like, because I heard that normally recruiters, what they look at, it's the positions you're looking for, or like what you're able to work on, or something.
Yep, exactly. So show through keywords your value for what you're seeking. So if I am seeking, you know what? Feel free to throw your LinkedIn headline and tell me what you're interested in, and I can help.
So right now,
So
I just sent it. So this is what I have on my LinkedIn.
okay.
Computer science student, seeking full-time software developer job. You said that the seeking shouldn't be there. So also, I just put the programming languages that I know, and the university and year I graduated from. I don't know, because we didn't go through if this is something that we should put on, like the college that we graduated from.
No one looks at. Very rarely they would look at it. They will look at it, and it will appear anyway. If you have put it on your LinkedIn profile that you graduated from that place, it will appear anyway in the search results. So there's no need to do that. Have you finished your studies?
Yeah, I'm done. I finished in 2018.
Okay.
Graduated back in 2018.
All right. So first of all, you're now a graduate, and you're now, even if you're still looking for your first job, you can call yourself a software developer, software development professional, or and then say something about what specifically you're interested in computer science and software development. You can state that. Again, look at the feedback about your work, and so forth. And I like it when people, I'm going to comment on the languages, like fluent in, you can say in speaking blah, 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 or fluent in. Because it adds a little bit more of a...
It's not speaking, it's not languages speaking, it's just coding languages.
I know, but they're called coding languages, and to make it a little bit human, if people say sometimes like they speak fluent Java.
Really?
Yeah, I believe you can say fluent. Yeah, fluent in Java might work.
So say fluent in.
Okay. I will do the same.
Okay. So I'm moving on to you, Kamel. So software engineer. Because of the character count, Kama, you can just do one line. Don't do two, because it takes away from your character. Journalist, if you can tell me a little bit more about that. Is there something particular that you can, like, give me a little bit of flavor? But the journalist is great. Peacemaker, interesting. I would love to know more about that. Translator, if you have the languages, write the languages.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, it's already good. You can, if you want, you can play with it a little bit more.
Okay, thank you. I'll put more, but I will add the business mindset first because it's part of the whole experience that during my life. So I will add that too.
So you can do like that. I'm going to write for you.
Oh, thank you.
Shira, once again, where can we find the keywords you said again? A word pool, or what was it again?
So the word cloud, if you Google a word cloud generator and you pull, let's say you looked at like 3 different types of job descriptions that appeal to you. You just copy and paste the body of them. You put them on the word cloud generator, and the word cloud generator will tell you and will show you the ones that the keywords that keep appearing. Okay, so and obviously like some of them will appear over and over again, especially like for both of you. In software, it will be like Java will appear or something like that. But go also for like the skill set that's like maybe a soft skill. You know, I wouldn't go like problem solving, but because if it's problem solving, so like something to finding the perfect solutions to problems through coding could be something. Like a little bit towards that direction. We're at a minute, so if anyone wants to
so
put
we have
their
just only
headline.
one minute. Oh, so
I can stay on for a little bit more. That's no worries on my end, at least.
That's so kind of you. Thank you.
Cool.
The question is in the about section in LinkedIn. I find it quite hard for me to explain more about myself because I already put on all my experience and the certification languages that I know. So what do you recommend me to type in about exactly section?
The about is, again, a little bit more, it's kind of like exactly the in between, like physically in the space in the profile, as well as in the mentality of the headline, transitions from the headline to a little bit of a broader, more of like a storytelling scope about your entire professional experience. You can put there some career highlights, like boom, 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 boom. You can write some hobbies. You can write what drives you, what fuels you. That's where you're really making yourself, like, it's kind of like a small cover letter, but it has to be very much about your personal brand. So I would go with that. And if that's something that people are interested in, I'm happy to do a session on that. I spent a lot of time on my own personal summary.
Wow,
thank
you. I already add you in your LinkedIn, and I really liked your profile. It's amazing and sounds professional. So
thank you. It took a lot of work.
I'm trying to copy you somehow. I don't know.
Make sure that it's authentic to you. Honestly, like when I did that, I was at peace. So for me, I will say to everybody, my profile summary is my personal values. And that's something that I really believe in. So that's where it was, where my focus was. But if you are feeling like you just want to talk about your highlights, that's also cool. If you want to only share a few little bits of like 3 sentences, then you go for that. A big trend that I've seen during COVID is if you have any kind of brand related thing to show off, like if some people put like X Facebook, So they were employees of Facebook, and so they put in the past. So they put that. So that's if you have like a brand name to tout, go for it. If you don't, there's no need. Yeah, there's a lot of room to play, but being authentic also, I think it calls out the right opportunities for you.
Thank you.
Any questions? I have one more slide to share, I believe, and that's my gift to you. Okay. Oh, I stopped sharing instead of sharing. One moment, we're coming back. Okay. So gifts. If you're struggling to come up with wording, these are 2 tools that, I'll change the second one. It's viacharacter.org, not .com. So explain. Brandpersonality.com is a branding quiz. It's really a magical one. I received it from a workshop I attended about personal branding. And it really shines light on where you can probably use it really helps you understand yourself a little bit more. It takes 30 minutes. They're worth it. So do it and see what the results indicate about you. Ask yourself some questions about those results as well. Viacharacter.org. So if you don't want to pay for Gallup, which is totally understandable, Viacharacter is a free tool, and it also talks about strengths. There's also other types of quizzes that you might want to partake in. These ones are based on research. So I really recommend looking into them as well. And that will, I think, help.
Thank you for
Yeah.
your gift.
My pleasure.
I went to the first link, the brandpersonality.com, and it's just showing an E, like a floating E. It sent me to another link instead.
Yeah, I got the same thing as well, actually.
You've got the same thing? Okay. I'm going to look at it because I wrote, okay. So, guys, it's a brandpersonalityquiz.com.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Great quiz. I made my mom take it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So this will tell us more about us taking this quiz.
Yes, it emails you the results, and you also see them right away. It's free, and it's something that, even if you're thinking about, like, if I were to build a company, I would probably think about it from that angle. I would do that quiz to understand what's the unique value that my company has to give my users and customers. And that's kind of the mindset that we should be at as people looking to get employed, whether it's on a freelancing or a part-time, full-time job, contract-based, is that, and this comes from one of my mentors, is that we need to think like business units. So this is Asaf, if you have heard him speak. I really like his mindset that you're responsible for your personal brand. You need to understand what kind of pain points the businesses that you are looking to hire you have and how you can resolve them, and what's your unique value proposition. Okay, so this allows you to do a lot of like internal research, and that's the personal branding aspect. The other side is essentially market research. So looking into the job descriptions, looking into the companies, that will help you understand what they're looking for. And when you merge the two, you have a winning statement with authentic voice.
And Shir, the last question I have is about the word clouds. Like I went to the site, and then how exactly do you use it? Like, what do you type in exactly once you're there?
So do you want to share your screen and just take a job description? You can just like look up any job description. Pull the first one you see on LinkedIn, maybe.
Yeah, so can I share my screen?
Yeah, I'll stop sharing mine.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm sharing mine. And
Amazing.
you guys see it? Can you see the wordclouds.com?
Yes. So can you grab maybe a job description off of LinkedIn, just like one that it recommends to you? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Cool.
Can I just grab yours since you're here?
So don't go for the headline. What I mean is like an actual like job description.
Yep. And where would I
So
pull the actual job description from?
I mean, what I mean is like in under jobs, like for in the hiring job board.
One of these. Gotcha. Okay. So, all right. So then one of these, intelligence optimization analyst. So then
Amazing.
I would.
So
So
you
I
don't
would,
need to copy the title. You just need to go into the job description itself.
okay.
So if you wanted to also use the company description, great. But I sometimes like only do job description and requirements.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes it goes into qualifications as well. So you can just copy that, the responsibilities aspect.
So this the responsibilities and the job description.
Yeah.
Okay.
So essentially, this is what that's their wish list, right? Qualifications as well. Put it all in there.
Put it all in there. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
And then I'm
Yeah.
here.
So you go to from here. Click on word list. It's right by Awesome. And then you can use the paste/type text dialog. It's a little bit above. Click that. Now you just paste it. Yep. Amazing. Apply. This will drastically change your word cloud. You can also change the word cloud. This one is not as nicely visual. So click on shape.
What should I, what's the best? Like a circle? Circle?
Yeah, sure. Okay, awesome. So if the font is also not clear for you, yeah, that's another thing. But sure, great. Thank you. Okay, so what we're seeing here, everybody just tell me what you're saying is important to our potential client.
Interesting. But so then the bigger words are the stronger keywords? Or is it random here?
So no, it is about the ones that appear over time. So like the ones that the more space it takes in the word cloud, the more it repeats itself. Okay, so for one, 1 second. Okay, so we have intelligence, we have industries, we have products. Ability, you will use it probably somewhere anywhere. Threat is a big one. Data, briefing, cyber, executives. This also provide and execute. So executives and execute are probably big. All of those things, technical communications, oversight. Those are the ones that jump out at me.
Gotcha.
The other thing you can do is if you're just like, okay, cool visual, but is go up to your word list again.
Okay. Like on here?
So click word list.
Word list.
Word list is to, yeah, amazing. And here it actually tells you the weight. The weight is how often it actually was said. So threat has been said 7 times. That's pretty major for a pretty small job description. So if I wanted to apply to that kind of role, then I want to mention threat, minimize threat or something like that, you know?
Okay. This section is definitely more helpful than I think just like the word cloud itself. But it's cool. So in other words, it's identifying what are the most common words used in the job descriptions. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. That's awesome.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah, I actually typically go to the word list the most, but the way to go about it is to go to the word cloud generator. The visual is very nice, but yeah, I jump into the word list.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. No problem. And you can do that. You can also, if you're looking at several similar job descriptions, because you want to appeal to a particular type of role, then you can grab a few, put them all together into one word cloud, and again, see trends for across a discipline, across a field, not just for this one role, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome.
Awesome. Any last questions? Okay, awesome. So I do want to pay attention to the people who did take the time to fill out the form. So what I'll do is to those, I will reach out on LinkedIn, and I will be happy to provide some support on your headline specifically. I hope this already enlightened you. I hope that the tools that I gave and the thinking I gave will support your job search journey, not just for this next role, but for future ones. And please feel free to add me on LinkedIn if you haven't, as well as let me know once you have scored a really great gig. I want to celebrate with you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Shira.
Thank you, Yoel. Thank you so
you.
much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Shara. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you
great
all.
evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are.
طلعنا من يرشلايم.
Yes.
يلا باي.
Yeah.